Offenders of serious crimes such as rape could stay in jail indefinitely, even after completing their sentence, if they are deemed to still pose a threat to public safety. Called the Sentence for Enhanced Public Protection, or SEPP for short, the new sentencing option was tabled in Parliament today as part of proposed amendments to the criminal procedure laws. The SEPP is a severe sentence which will be limited to those convicted of serious violent or sexual offences. These include culpable homicide, attempted murder and sexual penetration of minors. It will only apply to offenders who were aged 21 and above when the crime took place.
Society can be better insulated from these dangerous offenders. Some victims are even children with learning and physical disabilities, and the list goes on. So unfortunately, some of these offenders may have been sentenced previously for a similar type of offences. And when released, after serving their sentence, they commit more sexual or violent offences.
Offenders sentenced under SEPP will face a minimum jail term of between 5 and 20 years without remission. Now, at the end of their sentence, they will be assessed to see if it's safe to release them back into society. This is unlike a normal jail sentence, where offenders must be released after serving their time. There are two possible outcomes from the assessment. Offenders may be detained for up to life if they show signs of reoffending, their future release depending on the results of annual reviews. On the other hand, if offenders are found suitable for release, they will be set free, but with conditions. These include counselling, curfews and electronic monitoring. However, if any of the conditions are breached, they will return to jail. There will also be safeguards to ensure the sentence is meted out, that it is fair. For example, the court will decide whether SEPP is appropriate for the offender. Sentencing and subsequent reviews will also take into account independent risk assessment reports by the Institute of Mental Health and other experts.
What I do envisage and I expect is that if this amendment does come to pass, if SEPP is introduced, sooner or later, our sentencing courts will also come out with their own sentencing guidelines on when is it appropriate to impose SEPP on the accused persons. And I would think that the sentencing judges would always make sure to think very carefully, to consider all the reports very, very carefully before deciding whether to sentence a person to SEPP, because it is a novel sentencing option.
The proposed changes to the criminal procedure laws will also grant police the power to compel persons accused of sexual crimes to undergo forensic medical tests. Those who refuse to comply without a valid reason would face up to 7 years jail if the bill is passed. Forensic medical tests such as penile swabs and blood samples are needed to get critical forensic evidence. The Home Affairs Ministry says the process is time-sensitive as DNA evidence may be lost or contaminated over a short time. There will be measures to ensure such tests are carried out tactfully. These include having the procedure carried out only by qualified personnel like doctors and nurses. Necessary force may also be used on uncooperative suspects for tests that do not involve intimate body parts or invasive procedures.
It's really important that the police not just be enabled, not just have the power to gather the evidence, but to gather it very quickly before it can be degraded with time. So I think that that's going to be critical. And also, if you've got evidence that was gathered, on the spot very quickly, it will also be more credible.
Other proposed changes to the law include allowing police to conduct a search without a warrant if they have enough reason to believe a suspect has relevant evidence. The move aims to reduce delays caused by uncooperative individuals, and the courts can also allow accused persons who face minor charges to be released on personal bond instead of bail. Currently, they are remanded if offered bail but are unable to find a bailer. The bill will be debated in Parliament at a later sitting.